Welcome to the Beer Den Podcast. Tonight we'll be drinking Perrin Brewing's Kingdom of Tonga Vanilla Porter.
Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of the Beer Den Podcast. My name is Ethan Hoopy.
And I'm Michael LaRoe. Tonight we're drinking Perrin Brewing's Kingdom of Tonga Vanilla Porter. A little bit about them. They were founded in 2012, so not too long ago actually. They're based out of Comstock Park, Michigan. This is a kind of a special porter. They get their vanilla beans from, you guessed it, Kingdom of Tonga, hence the name.
Yeah.
They're pretty proud of that. Tonga is somewhere in like the South Pacific.
Okay.
If you're curious.
Yeah, I really didn't know where the Kingdom of Tonga was.
I didn't really even know that the Kingdom of Tonga was a place.
Yeah.
But now we do. And I'm thankful for their vanilla beans. So overall, this was decent beer. It had a pretty opaque look to it. It was pretty dark, which is common for porters.
Yeah, very dark. Black. I would say black. Yeah, really not a lot of brown tones in it.
Aroma-wise, overwhelmingly coffee is what I felt from it. In the description, it states chocolate and raisin, but I'd say coffee is by far the most prominent one.
Yeah, it's definitely what comes to my mind first. Maybe some dark chocolate tones in it, but yeah, I mean, coffee. It's the simplest way to describe it.
Mm-hmm. Taste-wise, though, it did have a little bit of a drying finish to it. I felt it was pretty velvety as you drank it. Pretty sticky as you drank it as well.
Did you say it was creamy?
Yeah, I would go with creamy.
I thought it had a pretty good, its ability to coat the mouth was pretty good.
Okay. It had a slight bready malt to it, I felt. And then flavor-wise, I could pick up some of that chocolate that they mentioned, but the fig and raisin completely lost on me.
I really didn't get the fig or raisin part of it. To me, it tasted like if you had a fairly watered down cup of coffee and you added some sort of vanilla creamer to it. That was kind of the overall impression that I had. So if you've ever had something like that and you enjoy that, I think that this would be right up your alley. You know,
it tastes like a very dark coffee, but lighter in terms of I guess not as thick.
Yeah, I thought the actual coffee taste wasn't as overpowering as some other ones that we've had. Like some other breakfast stouts have been very strong coffee flavor. This one I thought was a bit more mellow and it had that kind of vanilla creamer kind of taste to it. It was subtle, but it was there in the mix.
Yeah. This one, I just wasn't a fan of whatever coffee blend they use in it, I guess.
Yeah.
Like you said, we've had other a breakfast stout or different porters that have had that coffee flavor to it. And I like those a little bit more.
Yeah.
This one, I just didn't seem to like the coffee to it. Flavor wise, I'll go with a slight chocolate and definitely coffee flavor with that vanilla as well. So we base everything on 3 criteria. We have quality out of 50 points, value out of 25, and design out of 25. I scored this out of 33 for quality. There was nothing I really hated about the beer.
Yeah.
But there was also nothing that I really enjoyed about the beer as well. I think mostly just the flavor wasn't my style, I guess.
Yeah, I'd agree with that it was sort of, it's not bad, but it's also not anything to write home about. It has a decent flavor. It's very smooth, at least I thought, pretty mellow, but I think I've had other beers that have similar palates, and I think they did it a little bit better. So for me, I ended up going with a 34, so right in the same ballpark as you.
Okay. Value-wise, this came in at $14.50 for a 6-pack.
It's a bit expensive.
Well, and I thought it was a bit expensive, especially for it being a porter.
Yeah.
Usually when you're talking that price point, it's something that's been barrel aged or is either a more unique beer or hard to find beer.
Yeah.
This one, I don't really think it's too hard to find, except for that the brewery is pretty small still.
And maybe that's kind of what contributed to the price.
And that's probably why it is priced up there. So with all that in mind, I ended up scoring at a 12 on value. Ethan, what did you end up scoring at?
I ended up going with a 15. I definitely think it is a little overpriced, but I do think that it is a decent beer. And I think that if somebody were to get it, I don't think that they would necessarily be disappointed, but I would like to see that come down $1 or $2. I think that would be a much better, much more competitive price point, right around 13, 12. I think that would be a lot better.
I think if this came in at $12.50 a 6-pack, I mean, I could see myself giving it maybe even a 15 or 16 on value. So.
Yeah.
Design-wise, I scored it a 19. It does have a really good description, although in hindsight, some of the things that it mentions I couldn't pick up on. Again, it has notes of fig and raisin and chocolate. It even mentions caramel. You don't necessarily pick up those notes.
It may be more that those are notes that should be present, but are so subtle and kind of lost in the coffee flavor that it's really difficult to pick up on them individually. Porters, I'm pretty sure, are malt heavy beers. So, of course, you're going to have some of that caramel taste. Porters in general use a type of malts that are going to produce chocolate and coffee type flavors. Probably the stuff that is a bit more unique with this one is like the raisins. I've never really heard. I guess I haven't come across a beer that has described it as having some sort of raisin flavor. I get it because raisins kind of are in that same ballpark of taste as kind of chocolatey, coffee, dark berry type thing. But I just don't. I'm not picking up on it individually.
I would have liked with this one to have less coffee flavor, more of the fig, raisin, chocolate combo there. I think that would have made it pretty unique and would have been interesting to try. This does have the alcohol content. It's a 6.5%. It has a cool can logo on it. It has like a tiki head with Kingdom of Tonga in it. Has a call to the brewery. It doesn't have any indication of like social media or website, which I personally like to see. Since it's in a can, we don't have any of the like bottle stampings or any of that, but it is just in your regular 12-ounce can, not like a mini keg style or anything fancier.
Yeah. I just think that the overall style of it is pretty good. It definitely catches your eye. Definitely something memorable.
Yeah, I like the yellow can on it because you don't see too many yellow cans. You kind of see more like green cans for like the hops and stuff, or you'll see like browns. Like you don't see too many colors unless it's a sour, and even then it's usually like a fruit color.
Yeah, so. It seems like with sours, those are always the brightest kind of colored cans or bottles or anything. And so it is nice to see a porter that actually is being presented as very lively. You know? So I think it has a pretty good, all in all, the design of the can is pretty good. It doesn't really have like a bottling date or anything. So that definitely hurts it, but it does have a description, although I feel like it is a very specific description, which is why we aren't picking up on all the little details of it, like, like the raisins and stuff, is because it's like, it should be there, but it's so small that it's like, you're not, it's being masked by a lot of the other stuff. But yeah, I thought it was pretty good. So that's why I ended up giving it an 18. So
that sounds good. So overall, that's a 67 for you, Ethan, and a 64 for myself. So all in all, that's a 65.5 for Perrin Brewing Company's Kingdom of Tonga Vanilla Porter.
Hey everybody, thank you for listening to another Beer Den review.
Don't forget to follow us on social media, links down in the description.
Subscribe, like, and share. And if there are any beers you would like us to try out, leave them in the comments below.
We'll see you on the next episode of the Beer Den Podcast.